Let's now go cross-strait live to Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurating Supreme Court's journey towards becoming a digital court here in the national capital, and this is the first step towards introduction of digital filing, and it will mark the movement towards a paperless Supreme Court. There you are seeing those visuals of Prime Minister Modi, who's just arrived there, going to be inaugurating Supreme Court's journey towards becoming a digital court in New Delhi.
The software will certainly usher in the automation of processes, bring in efficiencies, integration, uniformity, timeliness, transparency. It is litigant-centric. It's an example of how we could have a technological response in the judicial and legal system. There are a lot of key features of the web page, which the Prime Minister will be uploading today. It's a dynamic, next-generation, hybrid, integrated database website. The Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Kehar there, accompanying the Honorable Prime Minister as he's greeted by the audience inside the plenary
ladies
hall.
and gentlemen, on behalf of the Chief Justice of India and judges of the Supreme Court, a very warm welcome to this morning's program. Today is a historic day for the country as the Supreme Court of India takes a huge step towards security and transparency. It is a move towards creating a secure and accessible ecosystem for the common man through a dynamic and responsive website that will connect 24 high courts of the country. On this occasion, we are honored to have on the dais the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, Honorable Shri Justice Jagdish Singh Kehar, Chief Justice of India, the Honorable Minister of Law and Justice, Electronics and Information Technology, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad, Honorable Shri Justice Deepak Mishra, Judge, Supreme Court of India, Honorable Shri Justice A.M. Khanvilkar, Judge, Supreme Court of India, and Honorable Shri Justice J. Chelameshwar, Judge, Supreme Court of India. I request Honorable Shri Justice Deepak Mishra to kindly render the welcome address.
Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Justice J.S. Kehar, Honorable Chief Justice of India, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad, Honorable Minister of Law and Justice and Electronics and Information Technology, Justice J. Chelameshwar and Justice A.M. Khanvilkar, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court of India, my esteemed peers on the bench, respected members of the bar, members of the judiciary, friends from the electronic and print media, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the day that the posterity will remember, and the history shall take cognizance of the fact that access to justice in the apex court took a different turn and paved an unparalleled path, which shall stand like a light post depicting the parameter for development of a country in the use of technology in the judicial system that plays a significant role in the life and the law that governs the society. It's the time to progressively acquaint ourselves with the global phenomenon and devise a mechanism which can save the time, money, and energy of every individual who is concerned to face a litigation. To put it succinctly, the process of implementation of Integrated Case Management Information System, ICMIS, will be the roadmap for future. The purpose of this attempt is to bring about the transformation of the justice dispensation system from the voluminous paper court to a paperless one. The introduction of new dynamic shall facilitate better access to justice and subserve the need to get information about each and every stage of one's case, which is of paramount importance to a litigant. The digital resources are appropriately said to strengthen the idea of access to justice at the doorstep. And let me state without any kind of equivocation that the whole exercise shall be in the instrument for achieving the constitutional goal, which is wedded to justice. In this context, I may refer to what the Honorable Prime Minister had said in the closing ceremony of the sesquicentennial celebration at Allahabad High Court on 2nd of April 2017. In absolutely definite terms, the Honorable Prime Minister advocated for increased use of technology in judiciary and stressed that judiciary, being one of the pillars of democracy, should contribute to the digital India drive. His perception of the said drive is in harmony with digital network, and the judiciary has conceived and painstakingly structured. On such an occasion, I am immensely delighted to state that the Honorable Prime Minister, who propounds the idea of Digital India, is amongst us to inaugurate the digitally secured and transparent environment in case filing and management, for empowering the litigant, and for introducing digital filing as a step towards a paperless Supreme Court. We welcome you, sir. Honorable Chief Justice of India has taken keen interest to accelerate the delivery of justice as well as smooth accessibility of related information for the litigants. He has accentuated on the crystallization of the new data-based management system so that it can be a contributory component. Honorable Minister of Law and Justice on a number of occasions has discussed with me as the Executive Chairman of the National Legal Services Authority about his vision of access to justice and how to spread the concept of connectivity amongst the litigants. On such an occasion, it pleases me the most to welcome Honorable the Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice J.S. Kehar, and Honorable Minister of Law and Justice and Electronics and Information Technology, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad. I also welcome other dignitaries of and on the dais. Their participation on such an occasion shall give a momentum to the mission that all of us have conceived of. The concept of peerless Supreme Court is no more a thought, but an idea that is going to be effectuated. Realization of the idea to have a digitalized paperless Supreme Court will no more be a theory, but will be a perceptible visibility in the real sense. It's worthy to mention that the whole system shall be environment friendly and transparency shall be deeply ingrained in it. The reopening day of the court will witness a new era where a litigant shall be empowered and feel well informed, and each member of the bar shall become a cooperative participant in the process of transformation. I once again welcome you all. Thank you.
We thank the Honorable Shri Justice Deepak Mishra. I now request the Honorable Shri Justice Jagdish Singh Kheher, Chief Justice of India, to introduce the Integrated Case Management Information System, or ICMIS, which will prove to be path-breaking as it makes the courts and cases more accessible to the common man.
Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, Honorable Minister of Law and Justice, my colleagues on the bench, on the dais and off the dais, eminent senior advocates, learned members of the bar, the Solicitor General and other law officers, officers of the Department of Justice, ladies and gentlemen. I took oath of office on 4th of January this year. Within 1 week, I got a letter from the Union Minister of Law and Justice telling me that the e-courts mission mode project for the year 2016-17 had sanctioned 430 crores of rupees. This letter told me that by the end of the third quarter, only 88 crores had been spent. So I was informed that only 20% of the work had been done in 3 quarters. And I was asked that there was urgent need to accelerate the process so as the target could be achieved. This letter had a silver lining. I felt confident that I would have government backing and support to introduce technology to improve the justice delivery system. As you all know, the process of computerization of courts commenced in the early 1990s. I was then, as a judge of the High Court, the chairman of the Computer Committee. I remained on the Computer Committee all these years till I went to Uttarakhand as Chief Justice and then Karnataka, where I was as Chief Justice of those courts in charge of computerization of those courts. And I felt that every Chief Justice of India, ever since the computerization program commenced, tried his level best by making people who were savvy in computerization in charge of the program. The database of case information has grown over the years by this initiative. And it is this database that we will now bank upon to carry forward the program that we are now introducing. On the Computer Committee at the Supreme Court, we have Justice Madan Lokur as the chairman. I was before him the chairman. He has worked extremely hard, and it is his great efforts to improve the database that has now really brought about this change for us. On the Computer Committee now is Justice Khanwelkar. He's on the dais. About 6 months ago, he told me that he had a software in mind which could introduce incorruptible system of filing. Filing in courts is a serious concern, and a matter sometimes which should go to one court goes to another. And this subject has been very close to my heart. And as soon as he told me, I told him I was interested. I sat with him again and again for hours and at end to understand the program that he had in mind and which he had introduced in the state of Madhya Pradesh in its High Court. I came to the firm conclusion that the proposal would introduce outstanding features. It is therefore that in March, we started to work towards introducing this program. And one day, sitting in court, very innocently, I remarked in response to something which a learned counsel had said, and I said to counsel that we would make the Supreme Court paperless within 6 or 7 months. It was a off-the-cuff remark, It was reported by the media extensively. And at coffee next morning, Justice Ajay Khanwilkar told me, he says, "Chief, the suggestion is doable." That was his exact words. He says, "The suggestion is doable." On the 2nd of April, I was with the Honorable Prime Minister on the occasion of the sesquicentennial celebrations of the Allahabad High Court. And he made out a very strong case that we needed to introduce technology to ease the working of court environment and to tackle the mounting areas of cases. So I realized not only the Honorable Law and Justice Minister, but also the Honorable Prime Minister was supportive of this initiative. The whole of April, I repeatedly interacted with different sections of the bar. I spoke to the members of the executive of the Supreme Court Bar Association. I spoke to the Advocates on Record Association and explained to them the benefits of this system. I went to the bar room and I discussed with the bar, highlighting the features of this program. I suggested to them that the integrated case management system would not introduce any further work for them, but would only reduce their work. It would not demand any further inputs from them, but it will only help them in lessening their work. Their response was most positive, and it's therefore that we decided towards the end of April that we would introduce this program with effect from 1st of May. By 1st of May, we were not fully ready, and it's never good to bring in a half-baked program. So just before closing, we felt that we will try and introduce this program with effect from the first day of opening. And we were having this meeting on the 6th of this month, just a few days before. And during this meeting, I realized that this would be the biggest and the highest leap forward towards introducing technology into the judicial system. Normally, I'm a very quiet person and I like to do things very quietly, but the paradigm change was so extensive and we thought we needed support from all quarters. So I sent word to the Honorable Prime Minister, hoping and wishing that he would accept our invitation. I was told it takes about 3 months, and only after 3 months he says yes, because 3 months are all fixed. But very graciously, no fuss, he accepted the invitation. We were told that he had prior commitments, but he agreed to come. So did the Honorable Law and Justice Minister, who was having a very, very extensive program today. He rescheduled that program, and he also agreed to come. We are very grateful to them. But what is this program? What are we trying to do? Till now, the best support that the computer program has given lawyers is to e-filing. They did not come to the registry to file. They can file from their office. That's the best that has happened till now. We are improving that. We are not substituting that. We are improving that. We are improving that by introducing digital filing. And what is this? When a consul used to file through e-filing, he did exactly what another consul did on the paper book. He prepared the entire paper book, but filed it through e-filing process. What is this program? This program, as I told you, takes the resource from the database which exists. So if you're filing an appeal in the Supreme Court from a case in the High Court, all you need to do is put in the number of the case that you're filing. And besides that, you have to file just the grounds. As soon as you file the grounds, the entire paper book of the High Court gets transferred to the Supreme Court. So all the paperwork of the Supreme Court is finished. It is replaced by just the grounds of appeal. We have hundreds and thousands of pages in every paper book. And besides helping the lawyer to save time in preparing his paper book, I think it will be a great environmental help as well. But now that this lawyer has chosen to file the number of the case and his grounds, what happens next? Automatically, all the parties concerned are informed through the same process in which the High Court used to inform them. So the moment you file a case in the Supreme Court, all parties in the High Court, before the High Court, are automatically informed. They are also informed and they can download the grounds of appeal that you have filed to challenge the High Court order. But interestingly, this scheme provides so many facilities that nobody can then choose to do what he wants to do. Nobody can say, I've filed, when he has not filed, because the client knows the moment you have filed. The moment you file, the filing system tells you what court fees you have to pay. And so does your client know this is the amount of court fees involved. If you are delayed, the system tells you what is the delay for limitation and what should your application do and how many days of delay must you explain. This application tells your client the day process is served on the other side, the day the case is taken up, the day various orders are passed. I have a very interesting small episode to disclose to you on process fee. And I was very particular that we should tell the client, and every client should know how much court fee and process fee is deposited. I was a new lawyer. I just started working. I used to go to the registry to file my own cases, and I knew how process fee was filed. So we were standing in a group, and this clerk comes to this lawyer and tells him how much money he should charge for process fee, and he says, where are the respondents? He says, Abohor. He says, what's the distance from Chandigarh to Abohor? He says, about 300 kilometers. He says, charge him 1 rupee per kilometer and whatever number of respondents there are. So every respondent service was for 300 rupees. As a matter of fact, it's 2 rupees and 65 paise at that point in time per person to serve a respondent. So here is a system which will tell every litigant how much money is spent, when is spent, what the date is, what is going to be done on the next date, what the limitation is. And interestingly, it has a feature. This feature gives access to every department of the state government and every department of the union government, access. And the moment a case is filed from that department, the department is told a case has been filed and you are the respondent. The department has immediate access to that case on the date of filing. The department can choose to appear on the first date or may choose to just observe on the first date. But it can start to prepare the case right from the first date. In case the case is serious and it needs to be opposed, the department will be ready. And what does the department have to do? Has it to get the paper book from somewhere and give it to a lawyer? No. The department will ask the lawyer to download the paper book straight away, and nobody has to travel anywhere. It is this access that this system is going to provide. I'm not wanting to take too much of your time because the Honorable Prime Minister is busy, but I would like to make one commitment to you. I've spoken about filing in the Supreme Court and the introduction of this system for the Supreme Court. I propose to take this system to all high courts and then to all district courts. Which means what? Which means that a litigant will file one case only in his lifetime, insofar as the paper book is concerned. If he files a civil suit, that civil suit, along with the reply and the rejoinder and the evidence and the documents, are all digitized. If an appeal arises before the district court, the entire paper book is digitally transferred to the district judge. All the lawyer needs to do is file grounds of appeal. From the district court, likewise, if you want to go to the high court, all that you need to do is file the grounds of appeal, because the digitized paper book will go straight away through the district court. This is a process which will ensure absolutely a transparent system. A system which can't be breached. A system where documents can't be manipulated. A system where the record is there for keeps. Once there, it's always there, and that's the record that is going to be relied upon. And for doing this, we don't need to change any rules. This digitized process replaces the pleadings. If there is any person who wants to add additional documents, he may move an IE and file those documents. If he wants to have a part of the pleadings translated, he can move an IE and translate that part of the pleadings that he wants to rely on. So the process remains the same, the rules remain the same. It's only extremely transparent. It's extremely accurate. It can't be breached. There is more to it, but there is shortage of time. The more to it is this, that every part of the filing process is now monitored. There are timelines. Every person who is assigned a case has to finish that, whatever is assigned to him, within that timeline. If he doesn't do that, the system by itself reports the matter to the next higher authority. And likewise, till it goes to the highest administrative officer, so that timelines are not breached. So this is a system which is going to help you all, especially the lawyers, the litigants, avoid so much of paperwork, reduce time in filing pleadings, and I hope all of you will put your best foot forward to support the cause and introduce it at the earliest. Thank you very much.
We'd like to thank Honorable Shri Justice J.S. Kehar for explaining so succinctly the purpose and function of ICMIS. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to upload the Integrated Case Management Information System with the Supreme Court website. We would like to thank the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, for ushering in a new digital era in India's judiciary. I now request Honorable Shri Justice A.M. Khanvilkar to explain the working of the ICMIS through his presentation.
Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri J.S. Kehr ji, Chief Justice of India, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, Law Minister of India, Justice Deepak Mishra, Justice Chalmeshwar, my esteemed brother and sister judges, other dignitaries of the dais, ladies and gentlemen. The two speakers have already covered most of the ground which I wanted to present before you. But let me make an attempt that I would complement or supplement their thoughts. The issues and challenges before the registry are enormous. There is only one way forward, which we thought was technological response. Now, this software is something not limited to filing of cases or knowing about case status, but it is also going to usher in objective and transparent case management regime. The software is litigant friendly. It is going to address all the aspirations of the stakeholders and empower them. It will be an interface between the advocates, the litigants, and the registry. I mean Supreme Court registry. The registry would be virtually at the doorsteps of the stakeholders and duty holders. If I may say so, it is going to ensure ease of doing business with the courts. The software has a feature of rationalization of human resources and time resources in processing of cases. Besides, we have integrated all the high courts with the ICMS software, in addition to the district and subdivisional courts across the country. With the documents which are available in the digital form in the concerned courts will be retrieved by the software as and when required with regard to cases before the Supreme Court. The ordinary course of forwarding or sending the digital documents by the registry of the high courts and the subordinate courts is also another facility which is provided by the software. The software program has already integrated the police stations across the country through CCTNS project. We propose to even connect the jails throughout the country with this software so that the details about the accused in jail, convicts in jail, accused undergoing trial will be all readily available with one click. The software has the capability of integrating with Bharat Kosh, portal of the Finance Ministry, Government of India, which may pave way for e-payment. We have assigned unique codes to central government departments. Separate login IDs have been created for the concerned secretaries of the department. This will facilitate them to get the digital copies of the paper books online. Similar unique code has been assigned to state governments throughout the country. Separate IDs have been created for the chief secretaries, resident commissioners, and advocate generals of all the states. One separate login ID and password has been created for respective high courts. That will enable the high courts to track the cases filed in the Supreme Court arising from the judgment of that high court for complying with necessary formalities and uploading of digital record. The state and the instrumentalities of the state will be served notices and documents online, including digital copy of the petitions. Now we will visit the web page. We have just on the screen we are seeing the web page. The web page, which has been created, is very dynamic. It is next generation and hybrid integrated database. It is responsive and user-friendly website which can be operated on any device, namely laptop, desktop, mobile, tablet, etc. There will be no need to have mobile application separately for this website. Online court fee calculator, limitation calculator, category-wise has been provided on the main page itself. There is facility of payment gateway through the main web page. E-visitors, which facility is already there in the present website, e-visitor entry passes for the litigants can be obtained from this website. We will now just enter the case status, which is the main activity and relevant activity for any litigant and advocates to know about the real-time information, online information regarding the movement of their cases. This case status displays the tentative dates, which is generated by e-process mode on the basis of defined logic. There will be no miscellaneous matter which will remain undated. For every miscellaneous matter, pending miscellaneous matter, there will be defined date given by the computer on default basis. The other dates obviously would be dates given by the court. Both will be reflected in this case status. The case status will provide online updated index of the paper books for the benefit of the advocates and the litigants. It will also provide objections in defective matters. What are the objections of that particular case? The number of interlocutory applications filed, documents filed in that case, all details will be available in the case status itself. Office reports, which is a routine and very useful communication between the advocates and record and the registry, will also be available on this website, on this case status feature. Notice service status will also be indicated, whether the service is complete or incomplete and which respondent is yet to be served. All court orders and judgments are available, which is otherwise available in the present website. Case information of subordinate courts from where the matter has come up in appeal will also be available on this website in this case status format. The mention memos filed, letter applications filed, as the Chief Justice mentioned earlier, the information regarding what is the court fee amount paid, already paid, and court fees, deficit court fees, if any, will also be displayed on this case status. The status of certified copy application will also be available in this case status. Now, what are we going to deliver to the advocates and litigants? We will deliver automated SMS emails on the registered mobile numbers and email addresses furnished by the advocates and litigants, intimating them about the movement of their cases. Every step taken in their case by the registry will be notified to them by this process. Automated e-notices, e-cause list, e-office report will be sent to the advocates and litigants, including government departments and other instrumentalities. We have provided one facility which will be a special feature in this website. The advocates and litigants can create their own ID, login ID and password on the website to access and download the digital record, paper books of their cases. Now this is a facility which is as if similar to taking inspection of the file. You can visit the entire, take inspection of the entire paper book and download the document which you are interested in. So we have provided dashboard for the advocates and litigants on case-to-case basis. The dashboard for the advocates, besides the facility of case status, which is otherwise available, this dashboard will be accessed by the advocates and litigants on the basis of login ID which will be created and the password which will be generated. They can access the digital documents and paper books online and download the same. For that, it will be by process of one-time password which will be created and informed and communicated on their registered mobile so as to ensure that no third party would be able to access those documents. E-court fees, process fees can be paid online from this dashboard. Provision for multiple communication addresses, which is a facility very relevant we thought. Besides the advocate on record, the email and mobile number of the litigant, the assisting advocate, the registered clerk also can be provided, to which the same communication pattern will continue. The supply of digital certified copy on the dashboard will be possible. The facilities which are provided in this software will not only be useful for the advocates and litigants, but it is going to help the case court administration for processing of their cases at the stage of filing, at the stage of processing of the cases for being prepared to be listed before the court, and other activities. At the time of filing, what is the Chief Justice just mentioned earlier, that it will be one-time filing. That concept has been achieved by this process. At the time of filing, we are just going to show the demonstration to you. You will see that on the screen. Now this is what is happening at the filing. Only name of the High Court, the writ petition number and the date of judgment is mentioned in that software. It will automatically generate the cause title of that case before the High Court, from where it is only on one command given, the party's name will get automatically typed in the cause title here in the Supreme Court, in the format which you want. That is how it will happen. There will be accuracy, there will be speed, and no possibility of any mistake committed in description of the parties. This is how the advantage will be passed on both to the stakeholders and duty holders. Besides the copying and pasting of the cause title from the High Court documents in the Supreme Court cause title, the entire paper book of the High Court can be retrieved by the Supreme Court software. If the High Court has digital record, like in Madhya Pradesh, where the digital record is available, the demonstration which is going on the screen, you will find that the documents which are digitized there in connection with particular case will automatically be transferred, retrieved by the Supreme Court software without High Court of Madhya Pradesh taking any initiative in that behalf. So we don't have to depend strictly on the High Court from where the record has to come. If that digital record is available in the records of the High Court. Where there is no such record, we are providing for mechanism by which the digital record can be created by the High Court in the timeline which will be prescribed. The software has the facility, as I mentioned earlier, of auto distribution of workload amongst available court staff on the given day. This is I think the demo is completed. The listing of cases is also going to happen by computer process, that is e-process. As I mentioned earlier, there will be firm date for listing of miscellaneous matters by default, unless a specific date is given by the court. It will be done on the basis of rationalized logic, which is already defined. In respect of regular hearing matters, the list will be prepared, auto-generated list will be prepared on the basis of defined logic and including the oldest matter first in the concerned category. So friends, the end result of this whole exercise would be empowering the litigant. Eventually, the software will usher in automation of processes, all the processes in the registry, improve efficiency. It will be integration both inter and intra-circuit level, uniformity in the functioning of the registry. There will be timeliness, transparency, decentralization, and reduce the cost of preparation of the paper book and making it cost effective for the litigants. At the same time, it will also help in conservation of environment by saving paper. To conclude, I would say that it is just an idea of connecting Indian courts with the stakeholders. And for the stakeholders, it can be said, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Shri Justice A.M. Khanvilkar. I now request the Honorable Minister of Law and Justice, Electronics and Information Technology, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad, to address the audience.
Respected Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable the Chief Justice of India is here, Justice Deepak Mishra, Justice Chalmeshwar, Justice Khanvilkar, Honorable Judges of Supreme Court, former judges, Secretary Justice, Solicitor General of India, other law officers, President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, ladies and gentlemen. At the very outset, let me begin with a caveat. Conventionally, the law minister must speak before the Honorable the Chief Justice. But today, the protocol has been reversed. I was a little amused, but then I realized, to my pleasant surprise, that Honorable the Chief Justice wanted me to know firsthand how my gentle reminder has stirred him into action to make this great change. My compliments to you, sir. Really compliments to you. It is a great product I need not talk about. But what is a matter of great appreciation? That our government is promoting innovation in a big way. The Supreme Court is also becoming innovative. And the digital story is coming from within the court itself. That's a great moment. I need to appreciate not only Justice Khanvilkar, Justice Madan Lokur, who is heading this whole initiative in his own way. We are working as a team. When I reflect upon the digital story of the court, I noticed to my pleasant surprise that 16,740 district and subordinate courts today are on e-courts. 7 crore pending and disposed of cases and 4 crore orders and judgments today are available on web. National Judicial Data Grid is available. It is a great story which you all need to complement. But what is a matter of assurance for all of us? That the judicial story of the court, led by the Supreme Court, is gelling with the larger narrative which the Digital India story is weaving to make India a digitally empowered society. I remember Honorable the Prime Minister laid a vision for us. The Digital India initiative should not be for the technological enablement of Indians, but should be for the technological empowerment of Indians. To make a story of India which ushers in digital inclusion. The whole philosophy was designed to bridge the digital divide between digital haves and digital have-nots. And 2 philosophical principles which he highlighted for us was indeed seminal. India missed the Industrial Revolution for historical reasons. India also missed the entrepreneurial revolution which the world experienced in the 70s, 80s and 90s for the regime which we had of license, quota, permit, Raj. India should not only be a prominent player in the digital story of the world, but should become a leader in that. That was the mission he had given to us. And today, when I see what is India's digital story, ladies and gentlemen, as an IT Minister of India, I'm literally noticing a transformation of India. How a common people is feeling empowered with a technology or a smartphone in his hand. As if he feels empowered, he feels blessed. And when I see how we are coming with 3 principles in this spread. Number 1, the product must be affordable. Number 2, the product must create inclusion. And number 3, the product must be developmental. Do you know we are creating Aadhaar at $2 per product, which is so costly in the world? We are undertaking 3 crore verification every day, authentication at 0 cost. And how we are creating that equity and inclusion? We open up 28 crore bank accounts of the poor and underprivileged. We link that to Aadhaar, seeded to mobile, and started sending all the subsidies for the poor directly to a bank accounts. We have saved 50,000 crores in few schemes which used to be pocketed by middlemen and fictitious persons. I remember a famous sentence of a former Prime Minister, I sent ₹1 from Delhi and only 15 paisa reaches on the ground. Today, we are sending ₹100 from Delhi and ₹100 goes to the bank account of the poor. That is the digital connectivity. The poor are feeling empowered. And I'm sure with today's initiative, when access to justice has got such a big digital push, it is going to become all the more enthusiastic, all the more enlightening, and all the more inspiring for the poor people of the country. I always feel any initiative of the country must lit up a smile on the face of the poor and underprivileged. And Honorable Chief Justice, the whole architecture which you have outlined today is going to really lit up the smile on the faces. And what is a matter of personal assurance for me, that the issue of e-service of notice, e-summons, payment gateway were areas of concern for me. But today, the architecture which you have outlined is surely going to address those issues, and I'm very happy. I can only tell you, our government is committed towards giving all the necessary support which the court needs in redoing this whole architecture in the quest of an e-empowered judicial system. In my own department, I have taken 3 initiatives which I would like to repeat here. One is for my lawyer friends, pro bono lawyering. We have opened a proper site is there. Please register yourself anywhere from the country. And with Justice Deepak Mishra and Honorable the Chief Justice, we are working with NALSA for those who need legal aid, and the UNDP has agreed to become the interface between those who need legal access and those who are willing to give their legal advice. That's the pro bono lawyering. And as I always say, pro bono lawyering should be more by way of commitment, by empathy, least for publicity. That is how we see pro bono lawyering. The second thing which we have done is we are going to make available, and I wish to thank Justice Deepak Mishra, who has been very proactive with us in ushering this whole issue of paralegal volunteers. They will be sitting in our 250,000 gram panchayats where our common service centers are working. And they will be giving legal advice in coordination with district service authorities, with lawyers on video conferencing to those who need legal advice at a pre-litigation stage. We are going to start as a pilot project in about 500 gram panchayats in UP and Bihar, Northeast and Kashmir, and they are going to enlarge this for all over the country. And the third is the Nyaya Mitra, which we are going to set up in all those districts which have the largest number of old cases, 10 years old, to facilitate disposal in the government, the police, and the judiciary. I'm sure this partnership between the government and the courts, led by the Supreme Court, is in quest for a better India, where access to justice becomes important. And I wish to congratulate Honorable the Chief Justice, Justice Khanwilkar, all the Honorable Judges of Supreme Court, and in the entire country, that let this movement for access of justice becomes a new story of India's digital empowerment. Whenever I go abroad, India's digital story is being talked about. India's initiative of digital inclusion is being talked about. And Honorable the Chief Justice, today I want to assure you that whenever I go abroad now, not only in India, I am going to talk as a spokesperson of India's judiciary in quest of digital inclusion through e-empowerment. That promise I give. I wish to congratulate. Thanks a lot. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
We thank the Honorable Minister of Law and Justice, Electronics and Information Technology, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad, for his erudite words. The Honorable Prime Minister of India is the inspiration behind many flagship programs of the government, including Digital India, which has created a revolution in the way the government works. The Supreme Court of India walks in step with the Honorable Prime Minister. It is a great honor and pleasure to request the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, to address the audience.
मंच पर विराजमान चीफ जस्टिस श्री J.S. खेहर जी, मंत्रिपरिषद के मेरे साथी श्री रविशंकर प्रसाद जी, जस्टिस श्री दीपक मिश्रा जी, जस्टिस श्री चलमेश्वर जी, जस्टिस श्री खानविलकर जी, सभागृह में उपस्थित सभी आदरणीय वरिष्ठ सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस, बार के मित्र, भाई और बहनों, आज बुद्ध पूर्णिमा है। इस बुद्ध पूर्णिमा के पावन पर्व पर मेरी आपको और देशवासियों को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं हैं। देश बदल रहा है, छुट्टी है, हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं। आज 10 मई का एक और भी महत्व है। 1857 का स्वतंत्रता संग्राम देश की आज़ादी का एक बहुत बड़ा व्यापक संघर्ष का प्रारंभ वो 10 मई आज शुरू हुआ था। 10 मई 1857 का आज आधुनिकता की ओर एक और कदम, और वो भी न्याय व्यवस्था की तरफ से हो रहा है। मैं चीफ जस्टिस साहब और उनकी पूरी टीम को हृदय से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं। वैसे जब हम इलाहाबाद में एक कार्यक्रम में मिले थे तो चीफ साहब ने बड़ा ही विस्तार से आंकड़ों का एक पूरा चित्र वहाँ प्रस्तुत किया था सबके सामने, और देश में जो केसेस बाकी पड़े हैं, पेंडेंसी है, और उन्होंने देश की जुडिशरी को अपील की थी कि आप वैकेशन में कुछ समय दीजिए। एक तो वो सुनना ही मेरे लिए बड़ा आनंददायक था वहां बैठ करके, और बड़ा प्रेरक था। और मुझे खुशी है कि मुझे कई जगह से खबरें आ रही हैं कि बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में हाई कोर्ट में, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जजेस अपने वैकेशन को कम करके इस देश के गरीबों के लिए अपना समय देने वाले हैं। मैं इसके लिए आपका बहुत आभारी हूं। क्वांटम के रूप में इसका परिणाम क्या आता है वो अलग बात है, लेकिन इस प्रकार का भाव पूरे वातावरण को बदल देता है। एक सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को बल देता है, और सामान्य मानवी के मन में भी एक नया विश्वास पैदा होता है। और न्यू इंडिया के लिए नया विश्वास भी उतना ही आवश्यक है, और मैं इसके लिए हृदय से आप सबका बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। आज हम टेक्नोलॉजी के संबंध में सरकार का जो अनुभव है, मैंने राज्य में भी काम किया है, यहां भी काम किया है। सरकारें या सरकार से जुड़ी हुई सारी व्यवस्थाएं, दुर्भाग्य से टेक्नोलॉजी का हमारा बड़ा सीमित अर्थ रहा, वो हार्डवेयर से रहा। हार्डवेयर खरीदना, हार्डवेयर बसाना, उसी को हमने टेक्नोलॉजी मान लिया। कई दफ्तर में आप जाएंगे तो पहले के ज़माने में टेबल पे एक फ्लावर पॉट रहता था, बड़ा अफसर है तो बड़े ताजे फूलों वाला रहता था, छोटा अफसर है तो थोड़ा छोटा लेकिन फ्लावर पॉट रहता था। युग बदल गया, आधुनिकता आई तो फ्लावर पॉट की जगह पे एक बढ़िया सा कंप्यूटर रहता है। न उसने कभी उसको खोला है, न कभी हाथ लगाया है, लेकिन बड़ा अच्छा लगता है। इसलिए समस्या टेक्नोलॉजी की कम है, बजट की भी कम है, माइंडसेट इज ए प्रॉब्लम। और बुद्ध पूर्णिमा है तो भगवान बुद्ध की एक बात बड़ी प्रेरक है। वो हमेशा कहते थे कि मन बदले मत बदले, मंतव्य बदले, तभी बदलाव की शुरुआत होती है। भगवान बुद्ध का एक बड़ा ही प्रेरक संदेश है ये। और उस अर्थ में आज भी हमने देखा, हर किसी को लगता है कि अब 6 महीने हो गए, मोबाइल फोन का मॉडल पुराना हो गया, जरा नया मॉडल ला दे। कितना ही नया मॉडल लाएगा, फिर भी उसके जेब में कॉन्टैक्ट लिस्ट की डायरी रहती है, जबकि मोबाइल फोन में कॉन्टैक्ट लिस्ट के लिए पूरी व्यवस्था फिर भी उसकी डायरी रहती है। क्योंकि हम दोस्तों के बीच में बैठते हैं तो हाथ में मोबाइल तो अच्छा होना चाहिए, और ग्रीन एंड रेड बटन से ज्यादा कुछ पता नहीं होता है। हम इतने, हमारी स्थिति ऐसी है कि हम बदलते कैसे नहीं है। हम किसी को अगर एसएमएस करते हैं, बाद में फोन करते हैं, मेरा एसएमएस मिला, चुनौती सॉफ्टवेयर में नहीं है, चुनौती हार्डवेयर में भी नहीं है, और इसके लिए एक सामूहिक मन बनाना पड़ता है। एक चेन अगर टूट गई तो प्रोसेस अटक जाती है। किसी को लगा नहीं भैया अब देखिए, हम में से कोई इंक्लूडिंग माई सेल्फ, जब तक अखबार हाथ में लेकर के अखबार नहीं पढ़ते तब को मजा नहीं आता है। अखबार पढ़ा ऐसा लगता है। आज के बच्चे अखबार को छूते नहीं, यूं करके दुनिया भर की खबर लेकर आ जाते हैं। तो ये जो बदलाव है, इस बदलाव के साथ अपने आप को जोड़ना, और ये एक एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करना पड़ता है, तब जाकर के होता है जी। एकाध व्यक्ति का इंटरेस्ट होगा, वो करता रहेगा तो एकदम से पूरी व्यवस्था में आइसोलेट हो जाता है। और इसलिए अभी चीफ साहब मुझे कह रहे हैं कि हम अभी एक प्रकार से ट्रेनिंग का लगातार डिस्कशन का काम कर रहे हैं, ताकि नीचे तक कैसे परकोलेट हो, इसका लिए हम प्रयास कर रहे हैं। टेक्नोलॉजी की ताकत बड़ी अद्भुत है। जो इसको अनुभव करेगा उसको अंदाज आएगा कि इसको कैसे उपयोग में लाना चाहिए। शुरू में उसको बड़ा डर लगता है, यार ये मेरे बस का रोग नहीं है। आपने देखा होगा, आप घर में बहुत बढ़िया वीसीआर ले आए, बढ़िया टीवी ले आए, लेकिन आपका पोता, जब आपको समझ नहीं आता, पोते को बुलाते हो, अरे देखो यार कैसे ये अटक गया, तो वो ठीक कर देता है। यानी इतना बड़ा गैप है जनरेशन का इस सारे मामले में, और इसलिए इसको कोप अप करना एक जनरेशन के लिए थोड़ा कठिन है। लेकिन अगर वो जनरेशन इसको कोप अप नहीं करेगी तो नीचे परकोलेट होना इम्पॉसिबल है। और इसलिए एक सबसे बड़ी चुनौती इसके साथ जुड़ी हुई है। मेरे हिसाब से ई गवर्नेंस, इजी गवर्नेंस, इफेक्टिव गवर्नेंस, इकोनॉमिकल गवर्नेंस, एनवायरमेंट फ्रेंडली गवर्नेंस, हम इस ई गवर्नेंस को जीवन के हर क्षेत्र में कैसे लाएं। अब जो हम एक कागज A4 साइज का एक कागज उपयोग करते हैं, रिसर्च ये कहता है कि A4 साइज का एक कागज पूरी प्रक्रिया के दरमियान 10 लीटर पानी कंज्यूम करता है। 10 लीटर पानी। इसका मतलब यह हुआ कि मैं अगर इस पेपरलेस दुनिया की ओर जाता हूं तो मैं कितनी बड़ी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की सेवा करने वाला हूं। मैं कितने जंगल बचाऊंगा, मैं कितनी बिजली बचाऊंगा। जब मैं बिजली बचाऊंगा तो मैं कितने बड़े एनवायरनमेंट के इश्यूज को एड्रेस करूंगा। यानी एक प्रकार से ये व्यवस्था की अपनी एक ताकत है। लेकिन जब तक उस पूरे स्वरूप को हम नहीं जानते तब तक यार छोड़ो यार, ये मेरा काम नहीं है। अगर हम इसको इसके एक व्यापक रूप में भी लोगों को प्रबोध, ये कोई पहले का सब बुरा था और पुराना था और ये करता है वही आधुनिक है, इस रूप में इसको देखने की जरूरत नहीं है। ये बहुत ही सरल है, बहुत ही उपयोगी है, और आज के समय में जब समय की कठिनाई है तो कम समय में करने वाला काम इससे होता है। सरकार में बाय एंड लार्ज हमारा अनुभव ये है कि हम लोग ये मानते हैं, हमारे विभाग ये मानते हैं कि हम जो करते हैं बहुत अच्छा है, हमारी कोई गलतियां नहीं होती, हमारी कोई कमियां नहीं होती हैं। और स्वाभाविक है, जो जहां काम करता है वो ये मानता ही है। अभी 2 महीने पहले मैंने जरा एक रिस्क लिया। मैंने सब डिपार्टमेंट को कहा कि भाई आप मुझे बताइए कि आपके यहाँ आपको लगता है कुछ कठिनाइयां हैं, कुछ गलत हो रहा है, इसको ठीक करना है, या कुछ प्रोसेस को सिंप्लीफाई करना है, जरा दिखाइए। कुछ दिन तो नहीं साहब, हमारा सब बढ़िया चल रहा है, कोई खास प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। मैं पीछे लगा रहा तो करीब 400 इश्यूज को आइडेंटिफाई किया अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट का, 400, कि जिसमें सुधार की जरूरत थी या कुछ कोई इंटरवेंशन की जरूरत थी। और बाद में मैंने यूनिवर्सिटीज को ये काम दिया, खास करके 18 से 20-22 साल की उम्र के बच्चों को, कॉलेज के बच्चों को दिया, और उनका एक हैकेथॉन का कार्यक्रम बनाया। 36 आवर्स नॉन स्टॉप एक ही छत के नीचे बैठ करके काम करना और इसके सॉल्यूशन ढूंढना। 400 इशू उनको दे दिए सरकार के। 42,000 बच्चों ने इसमें हिस्सा लिया। मोर देन 100 यूनिवर्सिटीज एंड कॉलेजेस ने उसमें भाग लिया, और 36 आवर्स नॉन स्टॉप एक ही छत के नीचे बैठ करके उन्होंने एक्सरसाइज की। एंड आई वाज सरप्राइज्ड, अधिकतम इश्यूज के सॉल्यूशन उन्होंने दिए हैं, प्रोसेस के सॉल्यूशन दिए हैं। ज्यादातर फिर सरकार के साथ उनका इंटरफेस हुआ, सरकार को उन्होंने बताया कि देखो इसका रास्ता ये है, इसका कई डिपार्टमेंट ने इसको एडॉप्ट भी किया है, और ये पिछले 2 महीने में ही हो चुका है। इसका मतलब हुआ कि हमारे पास इतना बड़ी संभावना है अगर हम कोशिश करें। और मैं तो चाहता हूं कि आप भी देश के टेक्नोलॉजी के फील्ड के स्टूडेंट्स को ऐसे अगर इश्यू देंगे, उनको कहे ढूंढ के लाओ क्या निकल सकता है रास्ता, क्या सॉफ्टवेयर बन सकता है, कैसी टेक्निक काम आ सकती है, मैं विश्वास से कहता हूं कि वो इतना बढ़िया चीजें देते हैं और सॉल्यूशन देते हैं, हम सरलता से उसको एक्सेप्ट कर सकते, यानी स्वीकार कर सकते हैं। और मेरा मत है IT प्लस IT इज इक्वल टू IT। अब ये अरिथमेटिक वालों के लिए काम का नहीं है। जब मैं कहता हूं, बड़े विश्वास से कहता हूं, IT प्लस IT इज इक्वल टू IT, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी प्लस इंडियन टैलेंट इज इक्वल टू इंडिया टुमारो। ये सामर्थ्य है इसमें। इस सामर्थ्य का हम उपयोग करके कैसे आगे बढ़े। अब एक जमाना था जबकि करेंसी टेराकोटा के, मिट्टी के कॉइन बनते थे, दुनिया चलती थी। वक्त वो बदल गया तो कभी तांबे के सिक्के आए, कभी चांदी के आए, कभी सोने के आए, कभी चमड़े के आए, धीरे धीरे करके कागज के आए। अब ये बदलाव हम ही लोगों ने स्वीकार किया युग के अनुसार। अब वक्त आ चुका है कि अब कागज वाली करेंसी का वक्त जा रहा है। अब डिजिटल करेंसी हमको हमारे स्वभाव को बनाना पड़ेगा। मैं इन दिनों खास करके 8 नवंबर के बाद, जिस क्षेत्र का मेरा कोई अनुभव नहीं था, उसमें जरा ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट लेने का मौका आया डिजिटल करेंसी के लिए। डिमोनेटाइजेशन का दिन था 8 नवंबर, और मैंने अनुभव किया कि नोट छापना, उसको सुरक्षित रखना, उसको पहुंचाना, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, अरबों खरबों रुपया का खर्च है जी। एक एटीएम को संभालने के लिए, एक एटीएम को संभालने के 6 पुलिस वाले लगते हैं जी, जबकि टेक्नोलॉजी अवेलेबल है। जेब में एक करेंसी ना हो तो भी आप अपना गुजारा कर सकते हैं, इतनी टेक्नोलॉजी आज उपलब्ध है। हम अगर, जैसे सरकार ने इनिशिएटिव लेकर के भीम ऐप बनाया है, 1 रुपये का खर्चा नहीं है, आप अपने मोबाइल फोन पर डाउनलोड कीजिए, सामने वाले के पास हो, अपना कारोबार शुरू कर दीजिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। देश के अरबों खरबों रुपये से अगर बचेंगे तो किसी न किसी गरीब के घर बनाने के लिए, गरीब बच्चे को शिक्षा देने के लिए काम आने वाला है। टेक्नोलॉजी पूरे इकोनॉमिकल एटमॉस्फेयर को चेंज कर सकती है, ये ताकत है इसकी। हम इसको किस प्रकार से प्रयोग में लाएं और जीवन के हर क्षेत्र में हम इसको किस प्रकार से प्रयोग लाएं, हमने प्रयास करना चाहिए। मेरा स्वयं का अनुभव है कि बहुत तेजी से लोगों को इसका महात्म्य समझ में आने लगा है। अगर खुद को नहीं आता है तो एक काम नौजवान रख लेते हैं, देखो भाई तुम मुझे इस काम में आशीष करो, मुझे आदत नहीं है लेकिन तुम करो, वो कर देता है। आज हम जिस टेक्नोलॉजी के युग में जी रहे हैं, शायद 1000 साल में टेक्नोलॉजी ने जो रोल प्ले किया होगा, पिछले 30 साल में उससे 1000 गुना ज्यादा टेक्नोलॉजी ने रोल प्ले किया है। जो काम 1000 साल में नहीं हुआ है वो 30 साल में हुआ है। और आज जो हो रहा है, यहां से निकलने के बाद वही टेक्नोलॉजी हो सकता है आउटडेटेड हो जाए, इतनी तेजी से टेक्नोलॉजी बदल रही है। बहुत दूर का दिन नहीं होंगे जबकि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस डोमिनेट करेगा। आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का पूरा फील्ड पूरी मानव जात को ड्राइव करने वाला है। जॉब बचेगी कि नहीं बचेगी उसका डिबेट होगा। ड्राइवरलेस कार आएगी, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस से चलने वाली कार आने वाली है, ड्राइवर का क्या होगा? क्या आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस आने के बाद भी जॉब क्रिएशन की संभावना है क्या? और जो इसके एक्सपर्ट हैं उनका कहना है कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के बाद जॉब क्रिएशन की बाहरी संभावनाएं बढ़ने वाली है। पूरा विश्व एक नई सोच की ओर जाने वाला है, उसके लिए एक नई जनरेशन तैयार होने वाली है। यानी जगत कितनी तेजी से बदल रहा है, टेक्नोलॉजी मनुष्य को किस प्रकार से ड्राइव कर जा रहा है। अगर हम उसके साथ अपने आप को थोड़ा सा भी कोप अप नहीं रखेंगे तो फासला इतना बढ़ जाएगा कि फिर हम इतने इरिलेवेंट हो जाएंगे कि हमें कोई पूछेगा तक नहीं। ये अवस्था दूर नहीं है। और इसलिए स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी, हम लोग आज हिंदुस्तान ने स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी साइंस में बड़ी इज्जत कमाई है, दुनिया में हमारी प्रतिष्ठा बनी है। हम जो मार्स में गए, दुनिया को वहां पर फर्स्ट ट्रायल में कोई सफल नहीं हुआ था, भारत फर्स्ट ट्रायल में सफल हुआ। और खर्चा कितना हुआ? आज अगर हम टैक्सी किराए पर लेते हैं तो 1 किलोमीटर का मानो 10 रुपया 11 रुपया होता है। हम मार्स पर गए, 1 किलोमीटर 7 रुपये में गए। और दुनिया में हॉलीवुड की फिल्म का जो खर्च होता है उससे कम बजट में हिंदुस्तान ने मार्स सक्सेस किया है। ये हमारे साइंटिस्टों की टैलेंट की कमाल है। ये हमारे देश के वैज्ञानिकों का सामर्थ्य है। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य से इतना बड़ा स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी, भारत की इतनी बड़ी अचीवमेंट, लेकिन एप्लीकेबल साइंस में हम साइंस को अप्लाई करने की दिशा में हम बहुत पीछे पड़ गए। मेरे यहाँ आने के बाद मैंने एक वर्कशॉप किया सभी ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरीज का, कई दिनों तक किया, डिपार्टमेंट वाइज किया। स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी का गवर्नेंस में कैसे उपयोग होता है। आज हम रोड बनाते हैं तो ऐसे 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 बनाते हैं। स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग करिए, आप मिनिमम कर्व के साथ स्ट्रेट वे रोड बना सकते हैं, आप डिजाइन कर सकते हैं और सारी चीजें ले सकते हैं। मुझे ट्राइबल को राइट्स देना था जमीन का, मैंने स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी का उपयोग किया और मुझे कोई प्रूफ की जरूरत नहीं थी। स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी से मैं सिद्ध कर सकता था कि ये फॉरेस्ट लैंड है जो कभी फार्मिंग के लिए आती थी। 15 साल के पुराने फोटोग्राफी से मैं तय कर सकता हूँ ये उसका राइट बनता है, हम उसको प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं। आज जस्टिस सिस्टम में जितनी, खास करके क्रिमिनल फील्ड में, न्याय की संभावना बढ़ गई है क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत बड़ा सपोर्ट कर रही है। मोबाइल फोन ऐसे सबूत छोड़ करके जाता है कि आप को एविडेंस के लिए एकदम से साइंटिफिक सुविधा मिल जाती है। फॉरेंसिक साइंस का बहुत बड़ा रोल हो रहा है। एक्सीडेंट के मसले सीसीटीवी कैमरा के फुटेज से आप जजमेंट देने के लिए नतीजे पर। कहने का तात्पर्य है कि पूरी जुडिशरी सिस्टम को और अधिक सक्षम बनाना और अधिक सरल बनाने में टेक्नोलॉजी, फॉरेंसिक साइंस बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले कर सकती है। हम जितनी तेजी से इन चीजों को एडॉप्ट करेंगे, हम बड़े सटीक ने। अब कोई कल्पना कर सकता था क्रिकेट पहले एम्पायर तय करता था, हारा के जीता, अब थर्ड एम्पायर तय करता है कि भाई तुम्हारा बॉल सही था नहीं था, पकड़े नहीं पकड़े, वो बता देता है, तो ऊपर से वो लाइट कर देता है। अब कोई कहेगा एम्पायर की नौकरी चली गई, एम्पायर की नौकरी नहीं चली गई, एफिशिएंसी आई है। और इसलिए मैं समझता हूं कि टेक्नोलॉजी के संबंध में हम जितनी सरलता के साथ उसको स्वीकारेंगे, उतनी सरलता से मुझे जरूर लगता है कि इसका बहुत ही लाभ मिलने वाला है। अभी रविशंकर जी प्रो बोनो की बात कर रहे थे, मैं जरूर इसका आप सबके सामने उल्लेख करना चाहूंगा। ये जो हमारे देश में सोच है कि देश के नागरिक ऐसे हैं, लोग ऐसे हैं, लोगों को तो अपना ही है, ये रियलिटी नहीं है। ये देश का मिजाज हम पहचाने, देश का मिजाज अलग है। ये फोरम ऐसा नहीं जहां ये मैं उदाहरण देने जा रहा हूं वो उचित है, लेकिन फिर भी वो शायद ज्यादा सूटेबल है, इसलिए मैं दे रहा हूं, मुझे क्षमा करना। 2014 का जो इलेक्शन हुआ, मेरी पार्टी ने मुझे प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में, उम्मीदवार के रूप में प्रस्तुत किया था। सामने भी कांग्रेस की पार्टी के लोग चुनाव लड़ रहे थे, और उस चुनाव के पहले आपको मालूम होगा दिल्ली में एक बहुत बड़ी मीटिंग हुई थी कांग्रेस पार्टी की, और देश का पूरा ध्यान था कि वो क्या लेकर के देश के सामने आते हैं चुनाव के लिए। और जब प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ था तो उन्होंने कहा था कि हमने निर्णय किया है कि 9 गैस के सिलेंडर के बजाय 12 सिलेंडर देंगे। यानी 2014 का चुनाव एक तरफ 9 सिलेंडर की 12 सिलेंडर इस तरफ था और दूसरी तरफ अलग एक। वो एक मैं उस समय के दृश्य की इसलिए याद दिलाता हूं। अब आप देखिए कि टेक्नोलॉजी के द्वारा जिस देश में 9 और 12 सिलेंडर की डिबेट लोकसभा का भविष्य तय करने के लिए हो रही थी, सरकार बनने के बाद मैंने देशवासियों को एक छोटी सी अपील की थी लाल किले पर से, और मैंने कहा था भाई अगर आप को अफोर्ड कर सकते हैं तो आप सब्सिडी छोड़ दीजिए ना, इतना सा कहा था। और मैं आज बड़ा गर्व के साथ कहता हूं, मेरे देश के 1 करोड़ 20 लाख परिवारों ने गैस की सब्सिडी सरेंडर कर दी थी। हमने अपनी सोच के कारण 9 और 12 में हम उलझे थे। उनकी ताकत क्या है, कभी उसको हमने एड्रेस ही नहीं किया थी। एक बार मैंने डॉक्टरों से अपील की थी कि आप बहुत काम होगा, बहुत पेशेंट होंगे, जब एक काम मेरी मदद कर सकते हैं क्या? मैंने कहा हर महीना 9 तारीख को कोई भी गरीब प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन आपके दरवाजे पर आएगी, आप बिना फी लिए उस गरीब प्रेग्नेंट मां की चिंता करिए। आपको जानकर के आनंद होगा, इस देश के हजारों गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट डॉक्टरों ने अपने अस्पताल के बाहर बोर्ड लगाया है और 9 तारीख को वो बिना चार्ज लिए गरीब प्रेग्नेंट विमेन को सेवा करते हैं, उसको मदद करते हैं, उनको गाइड करते हैं, दवाई करते हैं। जब मैं गुजरात में था, बड़ा भयंकर भूकंप आया था, मैंने इंजीनियरिंग के स्टूडेंट्स को कहा था आप 6 महीने के लिए समय दीजिए। बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में इंजीनियरिंग के स्टूडेंट आए थे और मिशन का काम तक वो करने के लिए मेरे साथ खड़े हो गए थे। आज मैं देश की लीगल फ्रेटर्निटी को, खास करके मेरे वकील मित्रों से आग्रह कर रहा हूं, ये जो प्रो बोनो की कंसा हमने एक ऐप डेवलप किया है, आप अपने आप को रजिस्टर करवाए कि किसी गरीब को मदद चाहिए तो मैं गरीब के लिए मुफ्त में तैयार हूं। एक पूरा देश में मूवमेंट खड़ा हो, गरीबों को लीगल हेल्प करने के लिए हम आगे आए। और ये टेक्नोलॉजी का कमाल है कि ये प्रो बोनो के द्वारा व्यवस्था खड़ी की गई है। टेक्नोलॉजी से आप उसमें रजिस्टर कर सकते हैं, टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से जो रिक्वायरमेंट वाला है वो आ सकता है, या हमारे छोटे मोटे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैं उनके द्वारा लिंक अप कर सकते हैं। लेकिन एक नया इनिशिएटिव, अगर मेरे देश के गरीब विधवा रिटायर्ड टीचर वो जाकर के कतार में खड़ी रह करके गैस सिलेंडर की सब्सिडी सरेंडर कर सकती हैं, मेरे देश का गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट डॉक्टर 9 तारीख को गरीब मां की सेवा करने के लिए तत्पर रहता है, मेरे देश का नौजवान प्राकृतिक आपदा के समय अपने इंजीनियरिंग स्किल को लगा देने के लिए तैयार होता है, मेरा देश का आईटी का प्रोफेशन, मैं उसको कहूँगा 36 घंटे खाए पिए बिना एक छत के नीचे आ जाओ और देश की समस्याओं के समाधान के लिए कुछ रास्ते निकालने आ जाओ। और 42,000 नौजवान 36 घंटे के लिए पुरुषार्थ करके 400 समस्याओं का समाधान करने के लिए रास्ता खोजते हैं। मुझे विश्वास है मेरे देश के वकील भी मेरे देश के गरीबों को मदद करने के लिए इस टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से आगे आएंगे और देश का भविष्य बदलने के लिए काम आएंगे। इसी एक अपेक्षा के साथ ये जो नया काम आपने शुरू किया है, खानवेलकर जी को मैं बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं, बधाई देता हूं। चीफ साहब का मैं बहुत अभिनंदन करता हूं। मैं मानता हूं डिजिटल इंडिया की दिशा में, न्यायिक व्यवस्था में टेक्नोलॉजी का आना अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी सेवा करेगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
हम माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का तहे दिल से धन्यवाद करते हैं। आपके मार्गदर्शन और प्रेरणा से हमारा यही प्रयास रहेगा कि आम आदमी के लिए कानून से जुड़े मामलों को और भी सुगम और पारदर्शी बनाया जाए। ICMIS इसी की ओर एक नई पहल है। I now request the Honorable Shri Justice J. Chelameshwar, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to propose a vote of thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my duty to propose the vote of thanks. I understand the Prime Minister has a very pressing commitment and I'm asked to be as brief as possible. Mr. Prime Minister, as you mentioned, it is the problem of the mindset. The computerization process of judiciary in this country commenced more or less at the same time when I became a judge in 1997. Since I was youngest judge of the High Court on that day, the then Chief Justice was pleased to nominate me to the committee dealing with the computerization, along with the senior most judge of that court, Justice P. Venkatram Reddy, who later came here. Then NSC people approached us. We thought we'll have a demonstration program for all the judges to explain the benefits of the computerization. The program was organized. The court of 35 judges was on that day in Andhra Pradesh. All the judges came for the program. The program lasted about an hour. At the end of the program, only 2 judges remained, 2 of the members of the committee, Justice Venkatram Reddy and I, including the Chief Justice. Everybody walked out. Now, that explains, as you were pointing out, the mindset problem. Now, there are various reasons for this. I'll just give you one more example. A few years back, about 3 years back, I was a member of a bench along with Justice Chauhan and Justice Kurian Joseph. We were hearing a matter. The stakes were heavy. The questions of law were complicated. The who is who of Indian bar was there in that case. And goes without saying, and incidentally I always joke in the court hall, Indian judiciary is one of the greatest destroyers of ecology in this country. The amount of paper which we waste, apart from spending, because there's a lot of duplication. And all of us who are associated with the judiciary know it. Perhaps Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, the Honorable Law Minister, knows it. He was a practicing lawyer. The Prime Minister would never have seen it. You must only see to believe it, Mr. Prime Minister, the amount of paper that is used in the court halls, especially in the Supreme Court. Tons of paper were filed in that particular case when they were arguing it. But at some stage, a lot of duplication was there. I asked the council, so why don't you put it on an e-form? Then eventually, in that particular case, all the material was put on a pen drive and handed over to us. But papers running roughly to about 10,000 pages in that particular case.
तो अभी आप ये सीधी तस्वीर देख रहे थे नई दिल्ली के विज्ञान भवन से, जहां प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने एक खास प्रोग्राम में, खास कार्यक्रम में तमाम जो लीगल फील्ड के जो लोग हैं उनको संबोधित किया। और उन्होंने इस खास कार्यक्रम में टेक्नोलॉजी पर, तकनीक पर खास जोर दिया। और उनका एक ही मकसद था कि आने वाले दिनों में हिंदुस्तान की तकदीर टेक्नोलॉजी के ज़रिए ही लिखी जा सकती है। और इसमें तमाम क्षेत्र के लोगों से उन्होंने अपील की कि वो इस फील्ड में, इस दिशा में आगे बढ़ें, ताकि भारत को, हिंदुस्तान को आने वाले दिनों में विश्व पटल पर सबसे आगे, इस क्षेत्र में खासकर आईटी के फील्ड में सबसे आगे निकलकर सामने आना होगा। और उन्होंने, जैसा कि वो हमेशा जानते हैं, करते हैं, कि वो उन्होंने एक फॉर्मूला भी दिया लोगों के सामने, IT + IT = IT, मतलब इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी प्लस इंडियाज़ टैलेंट, इन दोनों को मिलाकर होगा इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी के बाद इंडियाज़ टुमारो, यानी कि भविष्य का कल। और इसलिए भी IT के लिहाज से भारत आने वाली दिशा में कैसे आगे बढ़े, इस दिशा में प्रधानमंत्री ने सभी से अपील की है कि वो IT को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा एक्सेप्ट करें, डिजिटल इंडिया की तरफ आगे बढ़ें। तो ये थी